Okay, so you hear it over and over again, credit repair, credit repair. Well, exactly what is credit repair? No, really, what the heck is it? Well, we're going to talk about it right now. All right, welcome back to another video. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about the credit repair process. What is credit repair? So to start that off, the first thing we're going to discuss is the definition of credit. Exactly what is credit? So we're going to use this definition. Credit is the ability to make payments over time. Credit is your ability to make payments over time. That's what credit is. When people pull your credit score, that's the foundation or the basis of how your credit score is calculated. So with that in mind, the way that your credit score, your FICO score is calculated, the most important part of your credit score is your payment history. So I'll give you some numbers. You can write these down, take some notes on this. So your FICO score is based on 35% of your FICO score is based on your payment history, your ability to make payments over time. So 35% of your credit score is based on your payment history. That's why it's so important to make sure that you make your payments onto your accounts, that you make those payments on time. 30% of your FICO score is based on your credit utilization. That means how much available credit you have versus how much of that credit that you use. In one of my other videos, we want to keep that below 30%. And to go in either a further step, you want to keep it below 10%, your credit utilization. The next thing that makes up your FICO score is your credit history, your length of credit history. How long have you had credit? How long have you had open accounts? How old is your oldest open account? Is it 2 years? Is it 20 years? That's going to make a difference. The next thing that makes up your FICO score are your credit inquiries. And your inquiries are your requests for new credit. Whenever you go apply for something and they pull your credit, a car, a house, furniture, anything that you need to finance and your credit is being pulled, that's called an inquiry. And the last thing, which is 10% of your credit score, is made up of your credit mix. What type of accounts do you have? There's such thing as good debt and bad debt. Do you have a lot of store credit cards like Macy's or Belk, Home Depot, those kind of things? That's kind of like your entry level credit. And then you move up to your revolving credit. It's going to be like your Capital One, your American Express, like your Chase cards, those types of cards. You're not restricted to use them at just one place. You can use them anywhere. And then you move on to your next level of debt, which would be something like a mortgage. So those are kind of the different levels. You want to have a good credit mix to make up your credit score. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into the credit repair process. So we're going to kind of walk through the elements or the different segments of your credit report while we go through this. So the first thing that we want to do is correct any errors, any bad information that's not correct. We want to get that corrected immediately before we do anything else. So the first things that we look at is going to be your personal information. That's going to be your name, your current or any previous addresses that you had, your date of birth, your social security number, your place of employment. If any of those are not accurate, we want to get those fixed up front because it's going to have an impact later on during the rest of the credit repair process. So if your name is, let's just say your name is Joe Smith, is your actual legal name, and on your credit report it may say Joseph Smith Jr. Well, that's not your name. You want to have the correct name on there. So you want to dispute that. Ask the credit bureaus to remove that. That's not my name. I don't want that on there. With your addresses, anything, the smallest thing, if you live in an apartment, if the incorrect apartment number is on there, you want to get that corrected. If you live in a home and it has an apartment number on there, you don't have an apartment number, you want to get that corrected. If the zip code is not right, you want to get that corrected. If the street name is not spelled correctly, that's something else that you want to get fixed. And with your address and with your place of employment, anything past 2 years, we want that deleted. Get that off of there. The same thing with your social security number and also your date of birth. If any of that is incorrect, you want to get that fixed first. Because what happens is your credit is calculated basically by a computer, and it just recognizes different numbers. So if any of those numbers are similar to somebody else's, it could merge those accounts and give you false information that could possibly hurt your credit, your FICO score. The next thing that we want to get fixed or we want to dispute is if you have any negative trade lines that are not yours. So trade lines is just another name for accounts. So for instance, if you look on after you pull your credit report, if you look on there and you see an account that doesn't belong to you, you want to ask them to delete that. If you have an account on there and it is yours and it's reported inaccurately, if it shows that it was open on a certain date and it wasn't open on that date, if it shows that you have a late payment on there, you know that you did not have a late payment, you want to get that updated as well. The next thing after you get your trade lines organized is going to be the public records section. That's going to be things like your tax liens, your judgments, any courthouse records, or any bankruptcies. These things, you need to get these accurate, make sure they're correct. What a lien is let's say if you owe a debt that hasn't been paid, but you have a mortgage or you have like a car note, they can put a lien on your mortgage, which means that you can't transfer that mortgage or sell your house or anything like that until that debt is satisfied. So for instance, if you have like a tax bill or if you have like an old credit card that you never paid, and if that company is really serious about getting their money, they could put a lien on your house. So that section of the credit report is really important. You want to make sure that all your information is accurate on there. And if there's anything negative on there, you need to get that removed. And then finally, the inquiries. Again, the inquiries is when you go and you request new credit. So if you see some inquiries on there that you did not authorize or that does not look right to you at all, you want to get those deleted, request to get those deleted. So that was a really brief overview of the credit report process. We can get into some more details with all this information. When you look on your credit report, the information has to be accurate and it has to be timely. So if any of the information that you see on your credit report is not accurate and it doesn't reflect what's true, you need to be deleting those and asking the credit bureaus to get that off of your credit report. And so what I want you guys to do, check the links in the descriptions. If you have any questions, any comments, leave those down below. This was a very brief overview. I didn't get into a whole lot of details on this, but if you have any questions, any comments, leave those below. Reach out to me. Check the description. I have links in there for my contact information. If you want to contact me to get into more detail on a one-on-one basis, we can do that. But that's all I have for today, guys. Peace.